Welcome to part 4 of this video tutorial series on matte painting for PSD tuts. I am Ed Lopez. Today we will be learning how to paint some smoke streams from some asteroid hitting up some buildings. So we will also be breaking up the buildings, painting impact effects, and of course finalizing the image. It's easy, it's fun, so let's get right to it. Okay, so here we are. Let's open up this image from the links. Let's make a new layer for it where we will start painting, choosing this brush, including the brush file. And I'm just adjusting paint pressure on the shape dynamics and transfer. But you'll get that already done on your download file. Yet, feel free to experiment. Now just picking up some color from the clouds here, finding an almost white bluish tone, and also setting off with the background with this gray, medium gray. And let's just drag some smoke streams for the asteroids that are supposed to be hitting into poor old New York. So as you can see, you just paint with white first, then change up to the medium gray, and mostly on the bottom of the stream you add the gray, and then you go back to the white and add it on top. This gives the look for the stream to have some volume. And we'll do the same for this other stream. I'm planning to impact these two asteroids, as you can see, in two different places. Let's just now retouch a little bit on top here. And once we have this ready, we're going to be distorting this top stream a little bit using the polygon lasso tool. Just make a selection of it, and using the distort command we'll just change its perspective and position a little bit as shown here. Nothing too big, just a little bit of adjustment to make it look a little bit more like it's back there. And since it sits now on top of the building here, creating a new mask and using a very small brush, we just mask off a little bit of the smoke stream. Now with the same small brush and in a new layer, we just sample color from the windows here and start painting a little bit, some pieces, random pieces coming out of the building here, because we're gonna do an impact on this building. So just draw a little bit. Let's remove the streams a little bit. I'm gonna speed this process a bit and just paint little bits and pieces, always sampling color from the windows as shown here. And what we will do now is remove a bit of this building using the cloning tool. Select the clone source from the background, but in a new layer do the actual cloning, so we have it on a separate layer and we're not messing up our background. And once you have the piece cut out, just change the cloning brush to a softer one, so we can remove these obvious markings from the background. And now doing a command click on this painted cloned layer, make a selection and copy and paste from the background so you get this new piece, and just rotate it a little bit as shown here. And now going back to our blocky, very small brush and sampling gray from the top of the building here, we just start painting a little bit of volume into this piece so it doesn't look like just a flat cut out piece from the building. It's just a matter of painting volume with a gray tone here first, and then afterwards sampling again from the building. Paint some little detail, some random detail, like if there's destroyed office building, office space in there. Just random detail so it doesn't look flat. And little bits and pieces showing from this. And now let's work on the actual place where the impact from the asteroid took place in a new layer with the same gray and the same small brush. Just start painting on what would be kind of a hole in this building. Not going through and through, but just hitting the side of the building. What caused the piece on top to fall. So be sure just the edge is random enough, and just filling with the gray tone here first, and then again sampling from the same building. Start adding some detail to the border, some lines indicating that there's floors inside there, some debris of the what is left of the office space in there. Something random, not too detailed, because we're gonna be covering this with more detail of the actual impact, smoke, fire, and such. But we want that detail back there, showing up that there was space, office space inside the building, and not just an empty black hole. And once we have a little bit more of detail, we just sample again from the windows and paint some more little bits and pieces of those windows coming out of the impact zone. And all this detail builds up to provide us with a realistic impact. And as you can see, always sampling from the back of the building, from the windows themselves. And once you have this, once you're satisfied with the amount of pieces, we just lock the pixels on the layer and start adding to each a little bit of highlight, so they look more like bits and pieces flying around instead of just flat drawn pieces. Now we unlock the pixels again on the layer, since I want to make a couple of bigger pieces coming out from this side here. And again, sampling just color from the background, from the building. Just painting some bigger pieces that indicate some larger debris coming out of this impact. Once you have those bigger pieces, general shape painted in, the same we did with the other ones. Just pick up a lighter color from the building and paint in a little bit of highlight for each, locking the pixels on the layer so you don't paint out of the little pieces. A little bit of highlight for each of these larger pieces. We also sample different colors from the grays of the building and paint a little bit of randomness in these pieces. Once we have the impact pieces finished, we'll need a new layer to start painting what will be the fire of the impact. So just choosing this red color in a new layer, just start painting randomly what would be the fire inside the impact zone. We set this layer to vivid light, and now changing to the orange, a light orange. We increase the appearance of that red just a bit, a little bit random. We're gonna be detailing this more. Right now we're just setting up the color, and now with the smudge tool and a small brush, we start pulling out flames and blending these two colors together, just pulling out from what we painted. And as you can see, it's starting to look much better already. And of course, if you need, you go back to the brush and start adding some bits, some small flames that follow the debris. And again, we go back to the smudge tool and pull on those to give the appearance of flames coming out of the impact zone. And it's a build-up process. You go back, you paint a little bit more, and you go again to the smudge tool and adjust those. Right here I reduce the opacity of the layer just a little bit, and this is the objective for this layer, to make the base for the impact area of the fire inside the building. Okay, so next up what we will be doing is grabbing our custom cloudy brush here. Gonna adjust the settings again. Pen pressure on both shape dynamics and transfer. And add a little bit of little streams that follow the pieces coming out from this impact. Just a hint. Not to all of the pieces, just some of them. And then change gray to a medium gray. Just paint some smoke coming out from certain areas of the impact here. Just a hint of smoke coming out. Okay, so now what we'll be doing, it's making a selection with the polygon lasso tool of the top of this building where the other impact takes place. We just select the top of the building here, the tower, and finish it up with a random looking end, because we're gonna copy and paste in a new layer this piece of the building, so we can break it up without touching the background. Once we have the copy and paste of the top of the building, we're gonna do another new layer where we will use the cloning technique to block the top of the building from the background. So then we can go back to the cut and pasted piece we already have and move that around. So using the cloning tool, selecting the source from the background, we just block the selection where we cut the top of the building. Then we make the top of the building, copy it and paste it, visible again, and we just rotate it and move it a little bit in a position where the impact takes place. And as you can see, we can move it freely around because we blocked already what's from the background. Then we're gonna cut another piece. We're gonna destroy this building in two pieces, giving it some random appearance that the tower is breaking up from the impact. And the same as we did with the other building, the hole and the pieces. In a new layer, we're gonna choose a medium gray, a darker gray, and start painting in some volume from what would have been the inside of the building, so it doesn't look flat. Just painting with our little brush, as shown here, and as we did previously, just indicating a little bit of volume for these pieces, and then adding some debris falling around and some pieces falling back. And then, as the same as we did with the other impact, we just add some highlights to those little pieces. That gives us a quick and easy appearance of volume for all those little pieces and for those big pieces from the building. And now, the same as we did with the other impact, we need to add a little bit of hints of orange and red, so it appears that it has some fire in there. So we're gonna use the same fire layer that we painted on the other impact, just choosing a bright orange and start painting little bits of fire inside, and combining it with the bright red. And since this layer is in vivid light, you can easily see how it takes the same effect as the other one. And again, as we did with the other one, we go to the smudge tool and pull from those orange bits, so it starts looking like flames in this section. Now we're gonna distort this stream up here a little bit more, so it fits our zone of impact. And as you can see, I unlinked the mask, so the mask for the top of the building stays there. And now what we will be doing is in a new layer on top, set this mode to overlay, and using the gradient tool, and this gradient I have prepared for you, we're gonna add the glow for these impacts. Just drag a gradient on each impact as shown here, and you can see how that works. And again, using our good old smudge tool, we start pulling out from these gradients the impact effect, flames, in the direction following the bits and pieces. If you need to vary the size of the smudge tool, that's okay, just to make it look more like an impact instead of just an orange glow. And we do the same for the back in this other impact. And now I'm just erasing from this building in front. That wouldn't be influenced by the glow of that impact back there. And now the same as we did with the other stream, using the polygon lasso tool, make a selection of the lower stream, so we can adjust it a little bit, its angle and position, just a little bit as shown here. Remember to keep it in line with the other impact, because we're gonna be painting impacts on these other buildings here. I'm gonna speed it up a little bit, but it's the same process we have created twice already. Using a dark gray, we indicate the holes of the impacts, and then sampling from the same buildings, grays and lights, we add some detail and add some bits and pieces flying around, just to indicate what happened with this impact zone. The same for the back here. This impact is gonna go through this first building onto this one back here. Just paint some small details on the building that indicates some debris, what is left, some beams and such, some pieces of concrete. And once we pull back our layer for the streams, we're gonna use the mask on them to eliminate the smoke in this part right here, because that's supposed to be going inside the building. And then going back to our cloudy brush, we're gonna also mask these sections here. And now it, as you can see, it looks like the impact is going through that building inside. And as the same as we did in the other impacts, we now need to paint some fire, some orange stuff going on inside the impact zone. And in this new layer, we're gonna set up the same as we did for the other one. Set it up for vivid light, painting with the orange, and then a little bit with the red, to build up the effect of the same effect we did in the other one, to build up the look of some fire in there. Then add with the gradient tool, add some gradients for the impacts, as the same as we did with the other one. And with the trusty smudge tool, we pull out some flames from the base colors, the base impact colors, and also from the red, from the gradients we set up to indicate the impact zones. And as you can see, this builds up quite good. But now for the back impact here, we're gonna make a new layer. We're gonna set this layer to screen, reduce its opacity quite a bit, and with the orange we have been using, we're gonna paint some orange cast on this building in the shadow here. We're gonna soft erase a little bit, just to indicate that there's some orange glow going on back there in the shadows from the same impact. And again, we're gonna need some smoke for this, so we're gonna set up the same light color and gray color to indicate a little bit of streams again following our pieces, and then afterwards indicating some smoke coming out from the impact zone. We just indicate some smoke streams following some of the pieces, not all of them. And then what I said before, just a little bit of smoke coming out from this impact zone. Not too high, because the impact just took place, and we finish it up with a little bit of lighter smoke to complement the darker smoke coming out from these impact zones. Once we have done that, we're gonna grab the eraser with a very soft brush and go around these streams, erasing some of the hard edges left by the adjustments we did by using the polygonal lasso. And afterwards, just using our cloudy brush again, and the same darker gray and lighter gray, we're gonna start adding detail to these two streams, just to make them a little bit more filled, more detail. Adding a little bit of lighter gray on top and darker gray in some sections, that to give them a little bit, to give these streams a little bit more volume, as you can see. And using the same brush now, we will add a little bit more smoke on the impacts, both in the foreground and here in the back. First painting in with the darker gray, and then finishing it up with a little bit of lighter gray. Now in this background impact, the smoke we painted has blocked the little bits and pieces, so we need to make a quick selection of those pieces and make a quick mask in the smoke layer, so those little bits and pieces show up again. And now we're gonna need a new layer. We're gonna choose a darker gray, and in this new layer, with a very soft brush, we're gonna start painting what indicates the shadow that the both of the streams cast on the city itself. Just follow where the stream is, and where would the shadow of them like fall down on the top of on the side of the building here, and on some of the trees. We're gonna leave this layer at normal, but reduce its opacity just a little bit. And you see this hint of shadow works quite good to make it more realistic. Not so good on that building there, so we just leave it at that. Maybe in these buildings back here, just a hint of shadow goes a long way. And now, as you can see, I grouped all of the layers we have worked on, and we're gonna be doing some adjustment layers. First off, a levels layer, just to darken it a little bit, increasing the contrast. And then another adjustment layer, another levels layer, providing darkness, but with a very big soft brush with reduced opacity. We're gonna mask off from the central portion, just to put some emphasis on the central action area. And going back to the first adjustment layer, we just mask it off a little bit from the bottom. And finally, some hue saturation layer with reduced saturation. Of course, we need to, if you need to, or if you want to, you can go back to the levels layer to make some adjustments after we did the hue saturation. And this is just a matter of taste to come up with some nice look for the final image. Right here I'm just masking off from the central portion to create some kind of vignette effect. And now to finalize the image, we're gonna add with our same trusty cloud brush a little bit of softness in the upper right corner of the streams here. Just a little bit of softness to indicate that the wind is already affecting these streams over time. Just using the same darker gray and lighter gray, lighter almost white, to indicate just a little bit of more wind effect that it's already dispersing those two streams. Just a little bit of softness right here. As you can see, we're only working on the top right hand corner. And then checking those layers, we're gonna add a little bit of detail to this first impact with our very small blocky brush. We're gonna be painting some more cracks, some more random cracks on this first impact to make it a little bit more dramatic, like the building is cracking a little bit more, just a little bit more. So we'll just be adding a little bit more of this that indicates the building is coming apart. Some random sections that are cracking, just with the same gray we used for the same dark gray we used for the base of the impact here. And as you can see, I'm leaving some pieces of window here, and then with the lighter gray also adding some bits of highlights to these newly painted cracks. And that's about it. This will wrap up our work for this image. And that's it. We have come to the end of this tutorial, part 4 of the series. I hope you have learned and enjoyed. As always, feel free to send me an email if you need some assistance, if you're stuck on something. For now, I'm Ed Lopez for PSD Tuts. See you in the next one, guys.